Juliana Taylor's return was quite sudden. She didn't inform anyone. Upon landing, she heard the familiar language on the airport radio and saw people with familiar skin and hair color walking around her. She finally felt a tangible sense of being back home. Juliana was dressed in a light beige windbreaker, paired with a simple linen white shirt and jeans, which exuded a kind of nobility from her satin soft hair. The driver, with a genuine accent, asked, "Miss, where are you headed?" The second hospital. It was April in North City, and everything was coming back to life. Juliana hadn't been back in 5 years, and this time she rushed back because her best friend, Kelly Moore, was sick. When Juliana entered the ward, she saw a emaciated Kelly meditating cross-legged on the hospital bed, muttering, "Form is emptiness. A man can only be played with, inability to take seriously." Juliana unloaded all her worries in that moment and said, "Why are you just sick? But you've seen through the emptiness of the material world." Kelly Moore, who was muttering, opened her eyes, and surprise overflowed. "My God, why are you doing back here?" "Of course, I had to come back. You were sick." Juliana sat down on the edge of the bed. "What did the doctor say?" "A while ago, Kelly was diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, which is simply a malignant tumor that originates from hematopoietic stem cells. Some people also call it pre-leukemia." Her longtime boyfriend took advantage of her hospitalization, rolling away all the cash on the company's account and taking away half of the staff. Even Kelly's 2 years of technical information was stolen. "One bad news, one good news." Kelly said, "The doctor said I'm now at intermediate risk stage 2, with a high chance of transforming into leukemia, and that I'll have to have chemotherapy." What about the good news? In this situation, Juliana expected to hear some positive news. The good news is that chemotherapy can only control it, not cure it, and it can also cause severe damage to ovarian function, so I may not be able to have children in the future. Juliana initially thought Kelly had said the opposite, but thinking about it, she couldn't really say which of the two pieces of news was worse. "You call this good news?" She touched Kelly's forehead. "This disease isn't affecting your brain, is it? Doesn't recognizing scumbags count as good news?" Kelly's a dashing girl. She takes everything in her stride. "Besides, I didn't want to have children in the first place. I suspect my disease is hereditary. My dad died of leukemia." She'd been with Paige Smith for 4 years. They went back together to start their own business. They had a stable relationship. Who would have thought that as soon as she got sick, Paige Smith would run away with the money? Juliana frowned at that. "I didn't expect him to provide timely assistance, but can he not strike a person when she's down? Aren't all men like that?" The most unreliable thing in this world is love. A woman who believes in love will surely suffer all the pains of love. Kelly said, spreading her hands, "Forget it, you've never been in love, you don't have resonate." Juliana did agree with, "I've never been in love, but I've suffered for it." Juliana said, "I have a bit of savings that I've transferred to your card. It's not much, but it should help you turn over for a while." Kelly checked her cell phone and counted the digits of her bank balance, letting out a scream. "You call that not much?" Juliana's not much and hers not much were not the same thing. Juliana covered her mouth to keep her quiet. "Shh. It's enough that you know I'm sincere to you. Calm down." Simon Thompson doted her very much and would give her pocket money since she was a child. After she was sent abroad, fearing that she would suffer alone in a foreign land, gave more money, added up the 5 years, and it's a considerable sum. "Oh, you spoil me," Kelly said. "But are you really going to lend me so much money?" "In my current situation, I may not be able to pay it back," Juliana said. "Just consider it as my investment in your business." Croyer Company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and everyone else was avoiding it. Anyone investing now would be a 24K pure gold fool. Kelly didn't cry when she broke up with her ex-boyfriend or when she lay alone in the hospital bed signing the chemotherapy consent form herself, but at this moment, she was teary-eyed. At the critical moment, "You're the one I can count on." Strong as she was, while she could deal with it on her own, it was different to have someone behind her in moments like these. Juliana smiled and hugged her, patting her on the back. "A man who can only share happiness, but cannot share pain is not worth it. Never mind. I will stay with you." Kelly thought of something and straightened up to ask, By the way, you've come back all of a sudden this time. Will it get you in trouble? Do they want you back? About her family, about what happened before she left the country, Juliana doesn't talk about it often. Kelly only knows that she's not close to her family. She has a brother who is the most important person to her. There's also the fact that 5 years ago, Juliana was forcibly sent abroad. She herself called this exile. Juliana's reaction was more calm than she thought it would be. The worst is being sent away again. I was prepared for that before I came back. At this point in time, Juliana does not know that the news of her return home, IT had been spread by some passerby who she hadn't noticed. Who is the most famous lady in North City's high society? There is definitely a place for Juliana Taylor in top 3. Aside from her convoluted and complicated she's life experience, and also because there's a famous person behind her, who is Simon Thompson. After the news had spread a few hands, Adam Thomas received. He sent the picture to the chat group at Simon several times without getting a reply. Simon Thompson had just come out of the conference room when he received a call from him. What are you doing not answering my messages? Why didn't you tell us when younger sister came back? Hearing this, Simon took his phone off his ear, tapped into WeChat, and saw Juliana's photo. It's taken at the hospital. As if sensing that someone was filming stealthy her, she turned to look back. The wind carried her hair across her cheeks. The clear eyes were slightly blankly. Simon exited the chat group and opened the dialogue with Juliana to confirm that there were no new messages. After Juliana had gone abroad, she had less contact with him. The kid who used to follow him around like a tail all the time, but there were a lot of things that she no longer shared with him. The last time she had sent him a WeChat message was, "Happy New Year," more than 2 months ago, but she didn't inform him that she had returned. Had it been too rebellious? The secretary handed him a financial statement. Simon took it and signed it, and kept talking on the phone without any change in his face. He said, "Why should I tell you?" Adam got excited and said, "What are you talking about?" Juliana was also my younger sister. Let's ask her out for dinner tonight. I haven't seen her for a long time. I miss her so much, Simon said. Let your own little sister eat with you. Adam replied, my little sister was only 7 years old. Do you want me to have a kid's meal with her? It wasn't enough for me to eat. Simon said, you could have 2 servings if it's not enough. Then he hung up the phone directly and waved his hand slightly outward. The secretary walked out of the office and closed the door. He dialed Juliana's number. Juliana was about to leave the hospital when she received the call. She knew exactly why Simon was calling. When she picked it up, she was thinking about how to explain her unannounced return. Simon was the first to speak. His tone was normal and natural. He said, "Were you back?" "Yes," Juliana said. "I just arrived this afternoon." Simon asked, "Why were you going to the hospital? Were you feeling unwell?" Simon's unhurried speech made her heart, which had been floating since she got on the plane, calm down. She said, "I'm fine. I just came to visit my friend." Simon didn't say anything more about it. He just said, "Let's go home for dinner tonight. Send me the address and I'll ask someone to pick you up." Juliana answered honestly, okay. It was getting dark and it was still chilly in North City in late spring. Juliana pulled the collar of her windbreaker tighter and stood on the curb. The car arrived not long after. The driver jogged over and respectfully opened the door for her. "Miss Juliana." Juliana handed him the suitcase, bent down to get in the car, and then saw the man sitting inside.